if it works.
There it goes.
All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Stephen Lucas and Anthony Lucas here with Chalk Talk Analysis, where we are going to be discussing everything CrossFit. For those of you who are just joining us, for those of you who have joined us, the CrossFit Games of 2022 recently concluded. Actually, it's been a week since they have concluded. And we are just going to sit down and we are going to discuss some of the video, or one video that I made the other day, which talked about Haley Adams potentially leaving CrossFit Mayhem. That is my analysis. Today, Anthony Lucas, who is We Are Brothers, for those of you who do not know, or those who care, We Are Brothers. We brought him on, or he's coming on to join us, to join you, and just chit chat and talk about to give his analysis and what he thinks, and just create that conversation and dialogue about what he thinks. So what's up, man?
Hey, what's happening?
So obviously, you first off, what did you think about the 2022 CrossFit Games, man?
Adrian Bozeman, hands down, amazing, absolutely showed us seeing a CrossFit Games that is not so snatch heavy, so not Olympic lifting heavy.
Yeah.
And you no longer can just be an amazing Olympic lifter and train your Olympic lifts and go win the CrossFit Games. That was, to me, the best ever so far. It was awesome.
Yeah. Something I thought about with that, right? I don't think I mentioned this on the last video, but maybe I did, but I don't remember. But as a competitive athlete, right, you were probably training, like you were saying, for those snatches, for those Olympic lifts, because that's what's been customary for the past however many years, right? And then when you're blindsided essentially by those movements that he programmed in there, it threw everybody for a whirlwind. And obviously we saw some people on the sandbag to shoulder. We saw a lot of brute and grit during that time. With that being said, somebody, Justin Medeiros, he really came out and had a lot of technique on his lift, and that carried him substantially pretty far, throughout lifting those bags and everything. But what are your thoughts on when those types of programming are happening? What do you think? Do you think these athletes are training for like that strongman, if that's considered strongman, that shoulders, that back, like how many of them you think now are going to be implementing that for the next year until 2023 CrossFit Games? You know what I mean? Like, how many do you
I
think?
mean,
Hey,
get ready, because you no longer are an Olympic lifter and amazing at Olympic lifting and making it into the games and making the top 10. You now need to be a strongman. You need to be a Navy SEAL. You need to be a great swimmer, a great biker, a great rower. And that's how it should be. And when I had my gym, and I mean, you were there, that I was more of the idea of what Bozeman does, which is to train all aspects of fitness through all mobile domains. That's what they're supposed to do.
yeah,
Under Castro, and it was great, but you have to remember every single games was as Froning probably loved it, was a heavy Olympic lifting contest. Almost every year it's been. And this past year, 2022 NOBULL CrossFit Games was an absolute mind-blowing, it just it takes you as an athlete and makes you reevaluate what your modal domains are, and that is, you are to be the best you can be at anything and everything, whether metcons, duplets, trisets, triplets, and short burst fire breathers. It's no longer, oh, I got this, I can just go do great, I'm really good at snatching and double under, so I got this. We saw a lot of strong Norm in the top 10, right? What did he get? 16th, 12th. Brent Fikowski, another great one. And that's a whole nother subject we could talk about as well too. When is Brent Fikowski going to hang up the shoes? And I think this has really taken those guys that have been doing this, especially as they're getting older, and now they're going into the open against these younger guys like Medeiros, like Roman. That guy was amazing to come in. Is it not true Roman had placed to come to the games for the past 4 years? He was good enough to make it. He just never came in. Now he comes in, and he comes into second place. I mean, that's phenomenal. He was ready. Gerard, we could talk about him as well too. I mean, what a comeback after 5 years of his ban, and him to go back and prove it. Obviously, that's a whole nother subject and topic in and of itself. But man, that was an exciting games to watch this year.
Yeah, there was what I felt, was, so I was listening to a program, and just for reasons, I won't list the program because I don't want to get into like legalities. I don't know if I can do that or not, but they were talking about the first event, right? It was every athlete started like on the other side of the field, ran to the bar, did 75 toes to bar, 5 mile bike ride. Okay, so the event one, bike to work. And they were talking about, in that first one, I was listening to it, it was the guys that were talking, they were saying, man, I really wish they would have went to 100. And I was like, that makes sense. Why not just increase it to 100 and making it even 100? But after I got done listening to that, what I started thinking about the patterns across the 2022 games. And that is, there was a lot of racing. You know what I mean? Like doing just 75, just doing, obviously. Full disclosure, so everyone knows, we are not trying to take away from the athletes, the coaches, or anything like that. These people are phenomenal. So if I say just 75 toes to bar, if I was to get up there and do 75 toes to bar, I'm going to be there for a hot minute. Just full disclosure. But what I started realizing throughout the games was they programmed it to where you have to race. And if you slip up or mess up, that's going to cost you, right? And that's something I thought about, which was like the programming I thought was super awesome, because we know that a lot of those people, 75 toes to bar is not going to be a huge contributing factor, right? They eat 75 toes to bar for breakfast, right? But what it comes down to, in my opinion, is who is moving effectively, efficiently, and able to maintain proper breathing patterns with your proper movement patterns, right? And I know Chris Henshaw, he talked a lot about make breathing patterns with your running, and that same principle goes into is your breathing pattern matching your movement pattern. And so I say all of that because going back, that 75 was probably potentially what they had in mind, is like, they're going to do these, but now it comes down to who can do it efficiently, effectively, and just bang them out real quick. And that creates that competition feeling. You know what I mean? Like when you're watching racehorses or something like that, you're like, go, 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 you know? And I thought that was after I was listening to that program, originally I was like, yeah, you know, why not increase it to 100? You know, why not? But then as I started thinking about it more and more, I was like, the common pattern, and I know I'm repeating myself here, but the common pattern I saw was, you know, I guess maybe lower volume, but more accuracy and precision on the execution of the events. And I mean,
What they were thinking was that your top athletes, and a lot of them did do this, would break it up into 3 sets of 25. However, what you saw with Gerard was he immediately slammed out straight to 46. Now, he started to then slow down, obviously. But what the announcers were saying, you could hear them say, you want to get off the bar as quick as possible because you need to get to that bike before you're in part of the bike wreck, basically, because they're all coming around the corner. And we saw that with the girls. And that's what they were saying is it was kind of exciting and it pushed them, just like Gerard was flying through it, knowing that one, he's a great biker, right, with his BMX background. And he had also said, you need to get off the bar as quick as possible, or else you're going to be stuck in that huge bike wreck when everybody comes around the corner and they're all colliding. Right. So that's why Noah Olson had hurried it up and had known about it. Gerard was attempting to try to be the first one off the bar, yet he fell back because I believe he kind of got a little bit winded doing the 46 straight in the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Therefore, he fell back a little bit, which sometimes that just goes to show you. And of course, we're going to get into the topic of Haley Adams as well, too. It goes to show you that sometimes first place in the beginning is not always the best choice.
Well,
finishing first place.
Right. And that's, you know, I mean, Justin Medeiros didn't even win an event and won the CrossFit Games. Yeah. Exactly. So something I was thinking about, you know, and you brought up it, and I don't know exactly, but you know, in motocross, you have the whole shot, right?
Right.
Okay. From my understanding,
right,
is that whoever gets the whole shot has a higher probability and percentage of winning, right? That was my thought going into that, was like, get on the bar, get those toes to bar, get that first turn in, and you're probably going to be able to sustain first place. But taking into consideration what you just said about, like, yeah, you can win first place, but you know, is that going to be good? Yeah, man. I mean, Ian, I mean, we're going down we're going down a rabbit hole already, but
there's tons of them.
So
tons of rabbit.
And from my experience, since I've been involved avidly with CrossFit since 2019, right? This and I've seen previous games, don't get me wrong, on YouTube and stuff like that, but man, like since 2019, I've watched them all live, and this year was like, it was bar none. Like, that's going to be, and my thing, I think if he did a really well job doing it this year, like if for some reason, if CrossFit takes it over to Europe, like I know there was some talks about that, if they take it over to Europe and do it in Europe and start doing this worldwide type of stuff, man, that'll be another site that'll be awesome to be a part of as a community member of CrossFit, honestly. All right, man, let's before we before we get sidetracked a little too much, let's move on to the subject of Haley Adams with CrossFit Mayhem. What's your analysis on that?
My analysis is Haley is training under one of the greats. The great made it. However, Haley did not. Now, is Haley not, and nothing against Haley. She still was amazing and did great.
Right.
However, I feel, as I had just said earlier, winning first in the first two events does not put you on the podium. Winning first in the end. And that's what Froning was known for. How many times was Froning never in first in the beginning? And we saw this with the triple threes back in, 6-7 years ago in the games. We saw Froning absolutely fall apart as he was running after 300 double unders, right? He was not the greatest at the long distance, long endurance stuff when they program that. However, you don't have to be. Froning would come back and win, and programming is what favored Froning. And we saw that with Double Grace as he won at the very end, right? With Haley Adams, it's stinks because she looked to be the absolute best in the first two events, but Toomey was right there in second. And you made a great point. Justin Medeiros, did he in fact take first in any event?
I don't think he did, man. I thought he took first in, I forget what the event was called, but I would, unfortunately, my internet here is not like it's lagging a little bit, so I don't want to pull up the
Right.
events on the CrossFit page, because like you're freezing every once in a while pretty good, like I can hear you. There's a couple of times where it breaks up a little bit, but I don't want to pull that up and double check. Eventually,
Oh,
once we get some better internet connection, we'll be able to do that. Let's go right off of, as of right now, let's go. He did not win an event, and I can say with 95% confidence he did not win an event.
okay. So what that goes to show, what was so exciting about the games this year is you didn't have your leader winning every event. It wasn't, your top 5 guys were not top 5 throughout the whole CrossFit games.
Yeah.
You only needed to be the top 5 in each of the events. We saw that with Medeiros taking second, third, fourth, sixth. It was all over the place. There was not one person was first, except for CrossFit Mayhem Team Freedom, right? I think they took 5 or 6 first place out of the 12 events, which is phenomenal. However, we didn't see that and within the open women's, we started to see it with Haley Adams, and everybody was thinking she's got it as she hits first in the first 2 events, and then she kind of dissipates. Now, did she come out too fast, too strong in the beginning and kind of burnt herself out, especially with Bike to Work? Bike to Work was an insane event. One thing to remember too about that event, yes, you have your 75, get off the bar and get around the turn, basically hurry up so you don't get into the bike collision, but you had to do your chest to bars. And again, you're thinking, I gotta hurry up because here they are, the other 5 guys or 6 or 7 that are right behind me, they're on the bar already again, and you gotta do it again. And so it was never really dull. It was, like you say, it was a race. It was a constant race. And Haley Adams beat Toomey the first 2 events, but could not sustain and surpass even Mallory O'Brien. And then of course Brooke Wells, who was far behind Haley in the beginning, comes back at the very end and takes fifth place, uh, leaving Haley back there on the ninth. So
Yeah.
it was kind of tough. Everything I can foresee, Haley will probably start searching for different avenues, possibly, because is Froning and CrossFit Mayhem a place to go train as an individual? And we saw that with um, his other guy, Hopper, Dave Hopper. He was great too. Took in the top 10. But these guys that are going and training with CrossFit Mayhem, unless you're part of the CrossFit Mayhem team, currently what it looks like is you're not going to be really placing a top 5 position training under CrossFit Mayhem as you would, whatever else is out there. Is Haley probably thinking, well, and we don't know how much she puts time and money. How much does it cost to train under Froning's gym, under Froning and his crew? How is she feeling right now? Is she feeling defeated at the point that, well, my coach took first and here I am a team's instructor? Or is Froning an individual instructor and athlete and coach? So Haley's probably feeling like, well, maybe Fraser might be the better coach for me as an individual, and Froning is your guy as a team's athletic coach and instructor.
Yeah, that's
something to think about.
right. And you brought up a great point. Hey, we got about like 8 minutes left here, just so you know, for recording. You brought up a great point, and that is man, this is how I look at it, right? A little bit. And I agree with you. Like she has to sit down and she has to really start thinking about a lot of different avenues, as you were saying. But also, in addition, is do you you know like do you like my analysis, I think, on all that is you don't necessarily need to even go train with hard work pays off. You possibly just need and you possibly just need to find a new coaching staff who's going to be able to offer you the individuality that you need to train. With that being said, are these athletes under contract obligation? I do not know. If she is under, and Haley Adams is a dog in the fight. You know what I mean? Haley Adams, she knows it, that she can compete, and she's gotten top 5 in 2019 and 2020. So with that being said, you know that you're a dog in the fight, but now it's time to look at what do you need to do to get on that podium. That if I was talking with Haley Adams right now, if she was on this Zoom call, I would be like, you need to do what you need to do to get on the podium. Don't think about necessarily getting first, get to the podium. We know that you are a contender and that you can compete. Try to get on the podium. And it's exactly what you were saying. I really do think, I mean, of course, if she's under contract obligation, then this is all null and void, right? Then you have to sit down with your coaching
Right.
staff and be like, listen, I'm a top dog. You guys need to start programming something for me that's going to get me onto the podium. You know, I don't know. In the last video that we made, I said, just because you are a coach or a head coach and you have been a competitive athlete or are a competitive athlete, that is so advantageous because you can bestow that into your individual athletes because you know what it takes in that mindset. But I also caveated that with look at Shane Orr from Proven Fitness. He, from my understanding, he's not a competitive athlete in the game of CrossFit. He works out, but and his coaching obviously Tia Toomey, so he's doing something right. You don't have to be a competitive athlete and be a coach and have to train and compete. You need to be able to create a relationship and build trust with your athletes and be able to say the right things to have them podium. I mean, Brooke Wells came off of a elbow injury, as you probably know from last year, and she placed fifth. That is really freaking good. Like I was, if there's one thing I think that really blew me away about the games, it's that Brooke Wells placed fifth after a elbow injury. That just goes to show that whatever they're
Was
doing.
it in
What's that?
Was it an elbow injury or a back injury is what I thought she had.
No, she like dislocated her elbow during the snatches in 2021. And so that
I've
was
got
just phenomenal seeing her.
I've got
Yes, seeing her come back like that. So and so I mean here, right? So here we are, and we're sitting here and we're talking about all these other people. I wish the best for Haley. I really do. I think if we're sitting here talking about all these other alternatives, like she has to be thinking about this too, probably, right? Like, do I stay here or not? I mean, if you do, and it's like what you were saying, like not trying to take away from anything, but you got to sit down with your coaching staff and you have to be like, something's got to change because this is too much fluctuation for me. And I've almost podium once, twice before, and I've come in the top five. She's 21 years old. She has a lot of grit and a lot of time left in her. So, um, I'm very curious to see what unfolds in the next, like month,
yeah.
month and a half.
Yes,
Hold up, man. It froze up. So what were you saying?
I was gonna say yes, according to what she had said in her Instagram, that's what the sparked this whole conversation, this whole subject and topic that
Right.
we're talking about right now,
Yeah.
is that she had said on Instagram.
She says she's reevaluating and she wants to make a decision that's going to, I'm paraphrasing here, but she's reevaluating and to like wants to keep growing. And then at the end she said the best is yet to come. So I don't know if you saw, but Rich Froning did say that he is done at the press conference. He said he's done competing in the teams, but we'll see what else. That's what he left the press conference with. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm me personally, man, if I'm Rich Froning, and obviously I know I'm not, but if I'm Rich Froning and I see these other hard work pays off, underdog athletics, which I'm pretty sure that's who Ricky Gerard falls under, and I'm seeing that
Invictus.
Invictus, Proven.
Yep.
I'm seeing all these coaching staffs not participating in competition. I might reconsider focusing on getting CrossFit Mayhem back up to the podium on the individual athletes. And I think
However, However, he got CrossFit Mayhem Freedom onto the podium. The
Right.
teams.
Yes, 100%. Hey,
But you're speaking, yes.
yeah. Hey, just so you know, we have less than a minute, so if it cuts off, that's why. All right. Yes, you are 100% right in that. I do not want to take away from that. He has had, man, just like I don't know, you know what I mean? Maybe have Haley Adams start training with you. You know what I'm saying? In the team section. I don't know exactly, but
Right.
um um yeah, hey, if this cuts off, you know what I'm saying? It's because we ran out of time. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. Any final thoughts, man?
No, other than the fact that she's reevaluating and we're going to.
All right. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Our time limit ended, but well, let's Anthony, let's go through and just give our final thoughts. I mean, overall, I guess I'll start. Overall, good conversation. Felt like we didn't we kind of got off a little topic on the whole Haley Adams thing, but anyways, just it's interesting. Long story short, I think Haley Adams is still a huge contender. She's young. If she makes a pivotal move in her CrossFit career, she'll be able to bounce back. Even if she were to take a year under a new coaching staff and learn some new cues or whatever it may be, I think that she will be okay and that she will continue to be a contender. I honestly, as I have a lot of respect for CrossFit Mayhem, and I hope that that maybe they do go back to the drawing board and they rework and can reconfigure some things so that they can get Haley onto the podium because she is a contender. And this year, what we saw in the games with the leader jerseys switching hands, it makes it for an exciting games, and the drama and the racing and the precision and the accuracy was awesome. And I look forward to seeing next year's. But what are your final thoughts, man?
We are going to see very soon. I'm sure we will all know the answer. Um, Normally, when someone says yet to come, and they're writing that on their own Instagram, and they are basically just hinting. Obviously, there's a little bit of frustration. She knows she's a top contender. She knows she has what it takes, and she wants to prove that. We probably will see her with a different coaching staff here. That's what I do believe, and we're going to know that here very soon.
Yeah. Now, um, unless these athletes are under, I mean, right? I mean, good business is you lock an athlete in a contract. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if CrossFit's at that level yet or not. So
Yeah, no.
yeah, sweet. All right, man. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. Hey guys, we want to know what you think. Um, if you agree, let us in on your analysis, on your thoughts, why you think it. If you oppose and you guys think that we're speaking blasphemy, that's okay. Offer us your analysis. Um, Leave a comment, give us a message, whatever it may be, man. This is a platform about, bringing I guess, a lot of knowledge to the base here, and supporting it with data and information from athletes who post it, just from like looking at data from previous games and things like that. So we want to know what you guys think, what you guys are feeling, and all that type of stuff. And if you guys are not part of the CrossFit community, we are, I'm pretty sure both of us, man, are huge advocates for it. And the community is just awesome. I absolutely love it. And I look forward to watching the games for the rest of my life. So heck yeah, man. Sweet. All right, let's end this recording, shall we? All right, guys, take her easy. Have a good day,
All
and
right.
we'll be seeing you soon.